Chutzpah isn't a legal term, and it certainly isn't a crime, but if it were, you could add it to the 55 counts now facing Christina Formella. She's the former Chicago area high school teacher accused of grooming a former student beginning at age 14 and having sex with him more than 50 times beginning at 15, meaning the alleged victim was 15, that is. Formella was 28. And for the latter part of the relationship, she was married, okay? Incredibly, by the way, she's still married. And her husband is very publicly standing by her. Here's the happy couple striding into court just yesterday.
Michael, were you aware of those 52 new charges? How do you feel?
What happened with the kids?
How do you feel knowing she was sneaking this child into your home and hiding any evidence? She said she was going to take your family for millions and then be with this child after he graduated high school. And you're still going to be here to support her and hold her hand?
Okay, now I want you to guess why this alleged serial molester took up the valuable time of an Illinois court and Illinois prosecutor. Do you have any ideas? She said she needs to be closer to her alleged victim. Let that sink in for a minute, okay? She said the 5,000 feet that she's required to keep between herself and the young man's home, school, and workplace, it's just too far. She can't even live at her own home. She had to move back in with her parents. The judge said, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here, you kidding me? Motion denied. Joining me now, true crime digital creator Abby Escobar. Abby, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
So,
of course, thanks for having me.
You got it. So tell us about the hearing. How did Christina react when the judge denied a request?
So I obviously can't see her face because, you know, she has her back towards everybody. But when she stands up there, she's just as still as a statue. And then when she turns around, she just has this very tense look on her face. She looks down, straight, and will not make eye contact with anybody.
By the way, it says Blabby up top. That is your name online, Abby Blabby. When I first heard of you, I thought that was your real name. I was like, your parents are great. But anyway, that's a great name nonetheless. So Abby, why did the judge decide this? Am I making it up? I'm exaggerating, or was he really like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, she said that her conditions were fair and that the victim shouldn't be penalized because Christina can't live in her own home. So she very quickly sided with the prosecutor that she was not going to allow that and was going to maintain the current restrictions. Especially with what she's charged with. I'm not entirely surprised. It's bold. It's bold. Chutzpah is the word that we're using. Oh, okay, you have to explain this to me. So her husband and his family are there. Are they supporting her? What's going on? They very much seem to be. Yeah, Michael's father has been to all of these hearings. He seems to kind of stare me down and give me dirty looks when he sees me. And after the hearing, both sets of the families walked out of the courtroom, and they were standing there together like a unified front or team right outside the courtroom. And as I walked out, I said to my boyfriend, the Formellas deserve so much better than her. And one of the men said, shut up.
Why do you think the animosity? You're reporting on this?
I'm honestly not sure. I would have thought that this would cause some division between the families, but they seem to be sticking together in support of her.
I mean, that's the part that I don't quite understand, because do you know more about the husband and the family? Didn't she intend to divorce him and take his money?
Yes, and then be with the victim.
It's an allegation. It's an allegation. But what was it?
Right. She allegedly told him, that the victim, that she was going to marry Michael, get millions from the family, and then be with him after he graduated high school.
You know, and I'm watching them together. It's very hard to read what this is about. Yes. But you mentioned the victim. Any word on the victim's family, how they're doing at this point?
No. So at the June 17th hearing, the victim's mother and I believe sister were sitting in the front row. And when the prosecutor began giving details of things they had found in the phones, the mother began crying.
What stands out to you about this case? I cover, unfortunately, a lot of these kinds of cases, female educators, instructors who are accused of this.
Sure.
Why does this one stand out?
I think because you have a very beautiful woman, very educated, you have a good-looking man, also educated. He comes from a good family. There's obviously money involved. She seemed to have a very good life. She seemed to have everything. You know, they got married in Italy on the Amalfi Coast. So I think it's kind of hard to understand why she would risk everything for not just another man, but a child of all things.
And this was 50 times over how long?
Well, they said that she began grooming him when he was 14, and it went on until he was 16. So 2 years.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What's next in this case? What should we be looking out for?
Well, she has a hearing on August 4th at 9:30 in the morning. I'm honestly not sure what's going to happen at that. I plan on attending again. I believe it's just a status update.
One of the things we always ask in these cases is if they're going to take a plea deal. One, you imagine the prosecution would like that to spare everybody having to go through this case, including having the alleged victim testify. And when you're looking at charges like this and potential evidence, you wonder, is it in your best interest to do so? So we'll keep a careful eye on it. Abby Escobar, thanks so much for coming on, and stay safe out there.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.